Hey, stars, it's me, Shot Star, and I'm back. Listen, I hope you're having a great beginning of your new work week, vacation week, whatever the week is for you. I hope you're having a great beginning of it. I'm just honestly drinking some lemon water. Um, just to let you guys know, I will be coming. Would have my mugs and some other things that I'm working on soon. If you can tell me the difference between this mug and my other mug, let me know. I want to see if you're paying attention. Leave in the comments what's the difference between this one and the one that I normally use. Okay? Okay. Again, I want to continue to thank you guys for your support on this channel. Please continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I need that. That's what I need you to do. Um, So when we ended off in our last videos, we were talking about Puffy. Everything has been about Puffy and his 4 years and 2 months that he was sentenced to um, on last Friday, right? Okay, so this says Diddy's legal team plans appeal amid 4 year prison sentence and 500K fine. So we know that the fine ain't nothing for Puffy. We're not even talking about that. But of course, he's going to appeal. Anyone that didn't get what they want at this type of thing, you have a right to appeal, and they do. You know what I mean? However, people have been leaving comments and asking questions of, do I think it's fair? Um, First of all, I'm not in a position to say what's fair and what's not fair. As I stated in the last video, I'm not a victim in this, so I'm not so attached as some people may be. Um, I look at it like this, okay? For both counts that he was convicted, found guilty of, right? They both held a 10-year maximum sentence time. So that's two of them, and 10 times two is 20. So he could face 20 years without even question, right? Prosecution requested 11 years. So they kind of met them right in the middle of their sweet spot. They wanted 20. He can get 20, and they asked for 11, a little more than half of that. And then the judge turns around and gives him 4 years and 2 months, which is 50 months. Well, the fact that it's time served, he's already served what, 13, almost 14 months already? And however, I'm also being told that he's kind of requested what federal prison that he wants to go to. Apparently, he's already put in a request. It's for a prison. I'm not going to say the name and stuff because it's right now it's something that I'm hearing. But if it's out there, fine. But from what I understand, allegedly, Puffy is requested to be at a federal prison here in New Jersey, and they state that because he's originally from New York, and they want because his time isn't such a long span of time, there's no need to really send him super far, and he would be able to. His family or most people would be able to do visiting if he's here right here in New Jersey. But I mean, the type of money that they have, they can visit him if he was in Alaska. If they wanted to, they could. However, those are the requests. So allegedly, what I'm hearing, he's already requesting a federal place here in New Jersey. So it won't be going too far if he has anything to say with it. But again, he has the right to appeal. And as I said to you guys last week, I didn't really put a lot of energy into it because I felt like I felt like he could be pardoned at any time because we're talking about our administration. We're talking about a president that has just been giving out pardons like candy at a kid's party, pretty much, right? And I think he would do anything to piss some of us off, if that makes any sense to you guys, right? But like I said to you, it wouldn't matter if they had gave him 20 years or whatever. I still kind of thought that he wouldn't even do that. But now that he has 4 years and 2 months, I'm like, man, rock out. Man, the fuck up. Yeah, I mean, but I guess if you can get a pardon and not do any of that, would be great. President Trump announced yesterday in the Oval in the White House, he was being asked some questions by reporters, and he stated that Diddy has already asked him for a pardon. And if you remember, I stated probably back 2 months ago after he was found guilty. I said the next thing now is to reach out for a pardon. Well, guess what? He has. Surprise, surprise. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And there's a good chance that he can get it because at one point they were friends. But I have heard some things that Puffy have said about President Trump from when he ran the first time. He called him some names and said some things, but that's part of the game. But you got to remember, I told you guys the other day, our president is somewhat allegedly a businessman. He's not in the business of caring and loving and rationally thinking. He's a businessman. So business is, you know what, money talks. Because remember, Puffy has had what this, if I remember, this $58 million he had sitting to use as collateral for bail, which he was never giving. So this money. So I'm not saying that the president is going to get their hands on any of it or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like we've seen stranger things. So don't be surprised. It won't happen today, but by next week or so, you will hear that he's being pardoned. You know what I mean? What does that mean? Um, I don't know. When we have this type of administration in office that we have now, allegedly, you can't be surprised by anything, or you'll be walking through your whole day with your mouth open, gagging at some of the things you hear and things that's being said and just the way things are going. So I don't know. Like I said, we'll find out soon enough. We will find out soon enough. Okay. Um, I want to tell you a story. This happened to a young mom from Maryland. And I know the reason I'm saying you're like, oh, how many people get to do such and such? Times have definitely changed here. I remember the people in their 20s and 30s, 20, 25 years ago, their thing was Florida, maybe Miami, maybe Mexico. I don't even think Mexico was popping like that. But now the young people really travel. Really, I mean, they passports are stamped. Like I thought that I did my little traveling, but they beat it. And this Maryland mom named Jamaica Ivy, let me bring up a picture so you know who I'm talking about. Her and her best friend went on a week long trip to Africa. And most of the time, that's a dream vacation, right? And, it says Maryland mom, Jamaica Ivy, claims that she was drugged, kidnapped, at hotel during trip to Africa. I was fighting for my life. Now, as you can see in the picture, this is her regularly, and this is her with two black eyes and bruises and things of the sort, right? Now, she has other pictures, and if I have time, I'll show it to you. If not, let's get to this story because some of us are well traveled, and some people are traveling places, and you got to remember you're going to foreign lands, and you're not always looked at as something great, something good. A mother, a mother claims that she was attacked, drugged, and kidnapped during her vacation at an African resort before she fought back and escaped her captors. Jamaica Ivy, 31 years old, jetted off to the North African nation of Tashina for a week long trip with her best friend Queen, staying at a penthouse suite hotel where she was allegedly assaulted by an unknown man on September 20th. The friends had returned to the resort in the capital city of Tunis after a night out at the club when Ivy headed downstairs to the hotel's lobby as she looked for tissues. And she encountered a random man in the lobby. And she states that she doesn't remember much after seeing the man in the lobby and him approaching her. There's like an empty space in between her brain, she states, just tell you what. And then the next thing she remembers is waking up in the back of a car. Okay. So she says, I woke up in a situation I never imagined I'd face. And to this day, I'm still processing the trauma and gathering the facts on what really happened. Ivy said that she doesn't remember much from the lobby assault, claiming she was drugged and kidnapped. I don't even know what really happened to me, she told the news outlet. Just know I was fighting for my life and I was fighting a grown man. All right. The next thing I remember, I'm in the back of a car and I just start opening doors and start panicking. And I remember the unidentified male driver grabbing me from fleeing. He covered my mouth and punched me in both eyes, which is explained to two black eyes. They said that he covered her mouth so no one could hear the distressed woman cries for help. She said it was a grown man. He was punching her in the face and in the forehead. And she said all she could think about was getting back to her kids. And somehow she escaped the car. And in between that time, her friend noticed that her friend, Queen, noticed that her friend Ivy hadn't come back from coming down to the lobby to get tissue. Queen was left back at the hotel and she was pleading with the staff to help her find her friend. Well, the hotel employees claimed to Queen that Ivy had met a friend and left the resort, which left Queen confused due to the language barrier between her pal, Ivy, and the locals. And I'm like, how can she make a friend and she doesn't speak the language? That's what she told Fox 5 News in DC. She said she had recording. She started recording with her phone and how she kept asking the staff questions and they were saying, they don't know, they don't know. She met a friend and she left with a friend. So now that's starting to look like that was a setup because why wouldn't they just say, I don't know, or let's check the cameras? But to say your friend met a friend and left the resort, I don't know. So, like I said, this is being investigated. I'm sure, and I hope. Well, I'm going to make sure this is the last thing that we've heard about it. She sustained face injuries, a lot of scratches on her body. She had two black eyes. That's how she left to come home. So, we're going to stay on top of that. I definitely want to find out what happens with that because a lot of us are traveling and we need to be safe, guys. And I just want to say this too. I have a group of friends that love renting their Airbnbs, their own homes on vacation. And I think there is a sort of luxury to it because they'll get a chef and they'll do different things. But me, I have I don't want to be on my own that way. And I don't want to be on my own in a foreign country, meaning not being at an all-inclusive resort somewhere. Or if I'm going to stay at a residence, which I have before in Mexico, the residence that I stayed at had a chef, it had security, we had a driver, it was that type of thing. But for me to be in a foreign country, if it be Mexico, Jamaica, DR, wherever, I don't want to be some of the places are beautiful, but I don't want to be left on my own where I have to fend for my meals and go out and do this. I'd rather be at all inclusive resort. Is there's some safety in that? And she stated that I'm saying that because they stayed at a they said it was a resort, but was it really a resort? Was it just really a hotel that had a penthouse suite? And that's what. So I don't know. They didn't really say. But I want you guys to know and be alert and be aware. You know what I mean? Um, okay, I have the story. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Um, I was going to show you the picture. You know what? I'm going to show you a picture of the little boy. He's 2 years old. And then we're going to move on with the story. It's not something that I'm pleased to report. Okay. This is the 2-year-old little boy that was unalived by daycare owners Rockwilders after she left him alone to take a nap. This is the 2-year-old little boy who was unalived by his daycare owners Rockwilders. She left roaming wild while she went and took a nap. Okay, it's a little boy, and it says a toddler was fatally attacked by two large dogs at an alleged unlicensed daycare center in Georgia this past Saturday. Kimar Jones, 2 years old, was allegedly left unattended for at least 2 hours as the daycare owner, Stacy Weller Cobbs, 48 years old, took a nap. This is a horrible and tragic event that should have never occurred. But because of negligence on this offender's behalf, a mother has tragically lost her child. Okay. Um, let's get rid of this. What I will say is, look, there's no way that you could have got me to leave my child at a daycare center, whatever the setup was, because some daycare centers are homes, old two-family homes have been, changed over to it. So I'm not saying that it's not a building that looks like a school. I would have never dropped my child off to anybody, a daycare center, a babysitter, anybody that had two Rockwilders roaming free. And I think that even if they weren't roaming free allegedly, if I knew, and there's no way I'm going to drop my child off and not know if you have pets or not, because some kids are allergic to cats. Some people are allergic to dogs. So I would have to know that. There's no way I would leave my child with anyone with two dogs. Two big, vicious dogs, and we know I am an animal lover, absolutely. However, animals are unpredictable, and so are people. Okay, how many times have someone done something that you never expected them to do? How many times have your dog or your pet has done something weird and strange that he or she has never done before? Takes one time, people. So that part of it, I'm not blaming the mom, but I am blaming the mom. I would have never left my baby there. Second of all, I don't. The place is saying they saying allegedly is unlicensed. So this is probably somebody's house. The woman, Stacy Wheeler Cobbs, who's 48 years old, um, her dogs attacked and mauled the baby, period. So at some point, all I'm saying is, yeah, we can say this, that, and the third. It was crazy. Why did the dogs do that? The baby must have did something to the dogs. The woman should have never left the baby unattended, period. And never left with two animals. I don't care how long she had them. Look what they did. So, which means parents, we have to take some type of responsibility for some of the things that go on, because you have to. There's no way I would have left my kid at anybody's house and I knew they had two Rottweilers or two dogs. These are not lap dogs. These are Rottweilers. Okay, now come get your Rottweiler. So I don't know, people, but I'm just saying. I know child care is very expensive, but we have to do better. We have to do better. We have to do better. Okay, so I know that you guys are probably aware of the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B beef that's been going on for years, if you really ask me, right? Okay, so apparently in the past week or so, they've been really going in on each other. Especially this is since Cardi B's new album dropped, and apparently they're saying that her album broke records, and Nicki is saying it didn't, and it's this and it's that. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B feud gets ugly as they attack each other's children. And I mean, look, we're talking about two grown women. And my thing is, y'all women, y'all rappers, take it to the wax. Take it to the mic. Take it to the studio. You got something to say, say it. But just talking about each other kids is ridiculous. Real talk. Y'all sound crazy. It sounds stupid that we're talking about two grown, life experienced women. Right? Regardless if it's stripping, if it's hanging out on Jamaica Ave. Two women that have life experiences. Knowing that you leave your kids out of it. You can talk about me, you can talk about my man, you can talk about my woman, you may even talk about my mother, but don't talk about my kids. You know what I mean? So allegedly, um, Nicki Minaj allegedly called Cardi B's daughter ugly, right? Then Cardi B comes back and says that Nicki Minaj's son is nonverbal because of all the drugs she took while she was carrying him. Um, I think both of them are like really low blows. I mean, because we're creative, we're smart, we're rich, we're wealthy. You know what I mean? And they've never seen eye to eye on things. I don't. I'm not even going to get into the fight that they had and this and that and who. But for Nicki Minaj to call Cardi B's daughter culture ugly, a roach, a monkey, and if I'm not mistaken, allegedly she told Cardi to go and abort her current pregnancy doing yeah. And then, like I said, Nicki comes back and says that then Cardi comes back and says that Nicki's son is nonverbal due to drug use during pregnancy. Look, I don't know what's true and what's not true, but my thing is both of y'all creative, both of y'all smart, y'all claim y'all write your own shit, right? Because that's the big deal, right? Everybody claim that Jay wrote for Foxy, Biggie wrote for Kim. Y'all claim y'all write your own stuff, right? Safari don't write your stuff. Your husband don't write your stuff. Take it to the wax. And I think that really, this is real. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna be honest with you. With all the stuff that's going on in the world, and so many people that are doing without nowadays, um, you both can find. And I don't want to go to one or the other because it's an argument because two people are involved. If Nicki called Cardi, said whatever she wanted to say about Cardi, call her baby, her daughter ugly, a monkey, a roach, or whatever, Cardi didn't have to answer. She didn't have to answer. I'm not asking her not to. You're talking about your seed, your child. I get it, but you didn't have to answer. So once you do, you put yourself into the same thing, and now you're talking about her son is now nonverbal, and it's crazy, crazy. Facts or not, and both of you guys have made so many mistakes. Now I tell you like this, Nicki, relax. No talk, real talk. Just allegedly, your husband isn't he a sex offender? I mean, allegedly, which means he can't take your son to the park. He can't take your son to school. He can't pick your son up from school. I don't even know if you can actually have like um, a bunch of kids at your house at one time before any party with him there. I don't know. I'm just stating. And it ain't just for Nicki. Let's go to Cardi. Cardi, you and your fourth child, you're just getting a divorce and you're starting a whole new relationship. You're raising right now three and working on your fourth. I know you got more important things to do. What I will say about Cardi is she's more relatable. She comes off like the girl next door. I think everybody. I'm from Brooklyn. I had Spanish chicks in my neighborhood that remind me of Cardi being wild and crazy and saying all types of crazy stuff. And she's from the Bronx, so I mean, it was a Cardi on every block. You know what I mean? I get it, but she still, even with all her fortune and fame, she still remains that girl. You know what I mean? She got her teeth fixed, she got her body done. She's still the same old funny Cardi. Now, Nicki, I can't say the same. I can't. But nevertheless, I'm not here to judge either one of you. You're both grown. I'm just stating it looks crazy. Y'all both have children. Y'all crazy. It sounds ridiculous. Okay. And Nicki, and one more thing. Let's go to this. And Nicki, we're gonna leave Cardi. We're gonna give Cardi a break right now. Nicki, you are at the point where you crashing out completely because, and I don't have to say allegedly because I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. You crashed out. Nicki crashed out on Jay Z lately. Nicki Minaj calls Jay Z dreads a lace front wig and tells him to take it off in a disrespectful tweet due to Rock Nation feud. So they have a few. Nicki allegedly has a feud going on with Rock Nation. They disagreeing about something. So she said that Jay Z dreads is a lace front wig. So take it off. Just it's like you crashing out on everything. And my thing is, put it in your music. Put it in your music. And for someone that got a whole husband and a baby, I mean, I got more things to do than to be. I can't. I can't. But again, I stay out of it. I let y'all girls do what y'all do. Anywho, I love you guys. I hope you guys stay intentional, be intentional, really pick and choose. Mean what you say what you mean. Be selective. Be selective. Um, I plan to see you again soon. I love you guys. Have a great day and enjoy the week. Peace.